Good Friday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Wenatchee Public Works Director is the latest in a series of high-profile retirements from city leadership positions. A Quincy man was injured this morning in a fiery semi-truck crash outside Warden. Seasonal temperatures and mainly dry weather this weekend with a big warm-up expected next week. The suspect who shot and killed a Rock Island man 1 year ago near Pangborn Airport entered a plea yesterday which could send him to prison for 15 years. 31-year-old Eric Farias Reyes opened fire on South Union Avenue in April of 2023, killing Elias Mora Ontiveros, who was 23. Farias was captured 2 days later by a police SWAT team at Lyle's Motel in the 900 block of North Wenatchee Avenue. On Thursday in Douglas County Court, Farias pled guilty to second-degree manslaughter in Mora's death, plus 3 counts of unlawful possession of a firearm. He originally faced trial on more serious charges, including second-degree murder. Judge Brian Huber accepted the guilty pleas and scheduled sentencing for April 23rd. Prosecutors say if the court follows their recommendations for sentencing, Farias will be sent to prison for 180 months. Wenatchee's Public Works Director is the latest in a series of high-profile retirements from city leadership positions. Rob Jammerman was hired in 2018 to lead the department, which manages Wenatchee streets, water service, and other infrastructure programs. Jammerman previously spent 30 years managing a division of the Public Works office at the city of Kirkland. He recently was named the new head volleyball coach for the Eastmont High School team. Wenatchee City Administrator Laura Gloria says Jammerman's retirement becomes effective in June. Police Chief Steve Crown will also retire that month, along with the city's Information Technology Director Dale Cantrell. Wenatchee is now actively recruiting candidates for all 3 positions. Both the cities of Wenatchee and East Wenatchee will take a look at their ordinances regarding exotic animals after the Jordan World Circus comes to town. After several months of public outcry against circus animals, bison and camels will be part of the Jordan World Circus show at the Town Toyota Center after a February decision by the Public Facilities District Board to allow, quote, domestic animals. The Wenatchee City Council will vote to amend sections of city codes to restrict the use and possession of exotic and wild animals at their next meeting on April 11th. Mayor Gerald Crawford said East Wenatchee will begin their discussions on the matter in a workshop next month. The Jordan World Circus will be at the Town Toyota Center next Thursday and Friday. Waste Loop, the Leavenworth cooperative that's working to reduce the amount of refuse that goes into landfills, has a new base of operations in Cashmere. Eastside Rebuild is a reclaimed space on Railroad Avenue that will offer salvaged building materials and a tool borrowing library, as well as classes, clinics, and special events related to Waste Loop's mission. The grand opening happened Saturday, April 27th. Outreach Manager Amanda Close spoke with NCWLIFE News about the project.
Eastside Rebuild is our latest project, and it is a brick and mortar facility where we will be developing a salvage building material retail side of things, open for community donations. So if you have like leftover lumber, hardware, appliances from a building project, those can be brought to Eastside, and then they'll be sorted, organized, priced, and then available for community members at affordable prices. That will be one side of the facility. Another piece will be a tool library. So it'll be similar to, a general library, but instead of books, we'll be checking out tools. And we're hoping to have a wide variety of tools that can be used on different home projects. And then the third component is education. And so it'll be a site for, as I mentioned, the repair cafes, but then also workshops focused on building skills related to home improvement construction, and also reuse, repurposing.
When we come back, the Seattle man who shot and wounded another man in Wenatchee during an alleged robbery 3 years ago will serve more than 2 years in prison. Our Lady of the Assumption has officially broken ground for the site of its new church near the Big Y interchange in Peshastin. And the Peshastin Public Library will close soon for an interior redesign. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents Wonders of Wooden Avenue.
Welcome to the newest and funnest fashion boutique on Wooden, featuring mountain chic clothing and men's footwear from UGG, Brixton, Sorel, and Free People. Walk on into the Tiffany Blue Building on the second block of Wooden and check it out.
It is nearly impossible to describe what you'll find in Lush Life. It's an eclectic collection of items from around the world. See it for yourself at the corner of Wooden and Emerson.
Wonders of Wooden Avenue, North Central Washington's premier shopping district.
The Honda you want is here, so drive in the moment with the versatile CR-V or Accord. Both named a Car and Driver 10 Best. And when you drive a Honda, you're driving with the 2023 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
The Seattle man who shot and wounded another man in Wenatchee during an alleged robbery 3 years ago will serve more than 2 years in prison. 43-year-old Donald Jeremy Brown pleaded guilty yesterday to second-degree assault in the August 2021 incident in which he was originally accused of shooting a 34-year-old man in the shoulder on Montana Court when the victim tried to intervene in a robbery. Brown was wanted on a warrant for more than 2 years after the shooting until he was jailed on a firearms charge in King County last year. Chelan County Deputy Prosecutor Ryan Vallis told NCWLIFE News he dropped 2 felony charges of burglary and robbery due to conflicting witness accounts and the subsequent death of one eyewitness. Judge Travis Brandt sentenced Brown to 28 months for the assault conviction. A Quincy man was injured this morning in a fiery semi-truck crash outside Warden. 39-year-old Gabriel Vargas was treated at Samaritan Hospital after the Freightliner he was driving crashed through a guardrail and traveled off the eastbound shoulder of Highway 262 along Potholes Reservoir about 8:30 a.m. The semi, carrying a load of potatoes, rolled down the embankment and caught fire. The cause of the crash wasn't immediately known, but the Washington State Patrol says Vargas could be facing charges for his handling of the vehicle. Our Lady of the Assumption has officially broke ground for the site of its new church near the Big Y interchange in Peshastin. The new Catholic sanctuary will take the place of Our Lady of the Snows Church in Leavenworth and St. Francis Xavier in Kashmir, which were united into a single parish in 2017. The Yakima Diocese had planned to include a parish hall and classrooms at the new location, but due to rising construction costs, we'll have to hold off for now. Construction began March 25th, one day after a mass to bless the site. Bishop Joseph Tyson signed a contract with Apollo Incorporated for the contractor work for roughly $6.6 million and estimates that the church will be completed in May of 2025. The Peshastin Public Library will close soon for an interior design. The refresh is part of the $10.3 million Reimagining Spaces project that will refresh the interiors to the physical spaces the library system operates. The Peshastin Library's design plan was informed by community feedback and includes an enhanced children's area, improved seating and storage, a break area for staff, and more. Regularly scheduled weekly programs will be continued off-site at the Peshastin Dryden Elementary School, and card holders can continue to check out books at any NCW Library's location and have access to the mail order library system. The library will close on Monday, April 15th and will reopen in the late summer. Coming up next, we will bring you our exit interview with outgoing Eastmont High School principal Lance Noel. In tonight's feature story, expect a mix of clouds and sun with seasonably cool temperatures this weekend, but much warmer weather coming our way next week. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
So you may have heard the latest trend, shrinkflation. Companies are making products smaller and decreasing the quality of their ingredients. Well, at Abby's, we're going the opposite direction. We're sticking with the same plan that's worked since 1964. For a real value, head to Abby's. This is Skinny, and he helped found Abby's 60 years ago. In honor of Skinny, we're putting his favorite pizza on sale. Savory pizza sauce, Canadian bacon piled to the edge, and juicy tomatoes make this a very special pizza. Order your Skinny special right now at abbys.com.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
It's a great time to go into the medical profession. And this is the perfect place to start, because this is going to provide you that basic understanding in order to get into medical school, physical therapy school. So when you are ready to head on your career pathway, wherever it is, then you've already had some experience and say, oh, it's so cool. This is exactly what I want to do. So really, you're going to leave me with 13 college credits and a license with the state of Washington.
In tonight's feature story, Lance Noel has been the principal at Eastmont High School since 2013. His entire career as an educator has been at the high school, first beginning as a teacher in 1996. Now Noel is headed back to the classroom to end his career as a teacher, working with students in Eastmont's alternative program next year. Last week, Noel told NCWLIFE News that while he had always planned to teach again, becoming a principal was not something he originally envisioned for himself.
I've been given amazing opportunities, kind of asked to go into leadership, and just, it's been my thing. I've always said that I wanted to end my career back in the classroom with students. And this opportunity to work with the students in the alternative program is just, it's my thing. I did my master's in education with an emphasis in leadership, and I did my principal's credentials, and I did all that just for the pay raise as a teacher. Did my internship here at the high school as an administrator. I'd cover for the administrators when they were out, and it was fine. I enjoyed it. But yeah, the principal at the time, Mr. Marney, came by and said, hey, we were posting a new assistant principal at the high school, and I remember telling him, hey, good for you. And that's when he said, well, no, you're applying for that job. So I did that for 6 years and loved it, enjoyed it. I was worried going into it because I didn't want to lose contact with students. That's why I do it, why I got into the business. and I was still able to keep those relationships. So I was fine doing what I was doing. And then one day the superintendent at the time, Garn Christensen, came in and told me that Mr. Marney had been appointed to the district level and asked me if I'd be the new principal at East Mon High School, which completely shocked me because I had never applied for a principal job or even asked about a principal job. And so there I was. So I said, sure. It's like you go from being a colleague of everyone to suddenly I'm their bosses. So as far as working with the teachers went, I think I had to develop a relationship of somebody who treated people with respect because, I mean, I was their equal for so long. Follow through, you know what I mean? And so I think pretty quickly I earned the staff's respect as somebody who would do the job, you know, and I was still, the students, you know, I held them accountable, but, you know, didn't have issues or concerns. It went fine. Going from an assistant principal to a high school, a 4A high school principal is a pretty big jump, considering I'd never been a principal. In that first year, we were in construction. So I had like 3 campuses. I didn't even know what I'm doing, you know. It was quite a transition. And I had a lot to learn. Worked way too much. Garn Christensen actually talked to my wife, and then I got chewed out for not being home enough. Yeah, the transition, I think, was easier because I knew the building, but yet harder because I knew everyone so well I didn't want to fail, you know? So the students or the staff and the community knows you too. I've been doing this for a long time. I love it, but it's time.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great week and a good Friday today. Some more light rain showers, a lot like yesterday, at least here in the Wenatchee area. Those showers really didn't amount to a whole lot. We picked up a little bit of light rain, and you can see from this afternoon some light rain hovering around the Cascades. And the strange part about the rain today, it was coming in from the east, and we'll talk more about that when we get to our surface loop in a second. But here we go for our weekend and into next week. Not bad. Better than the last couple of days we've seen. Partly cloudy both Saturday and Sunday. 57 your high tomorrow, 60 for Sunday, and then look how nice it gets into next week. Monday and Tuesday, a nice warm up, 62 Monday, mostly sunny on Tuesday, and 65 degrees. And I'll give you a little hint, folks, we're going to get even warmer than that as we make our way into the mid and end part of next week. All right, today's high temperature here unofficially in the Wenatchee area, 46 degrees. We were only 45 yesterday, so it's been a cool couple of days. 59 is our normal high for this time of year. 78 our record, and that was set in 1977. 37 this morning, right in line with where we should be at 38 for our normal low. And our record cold, 29 degrees in 1997. Picked up another 0.03 of an inch of precipitation. That now gets us to 2.49 inches since January 1st, and we're still about 0.11 behind where we should be for this time of year. Sunrise this morning, 6:30, and we'll set this evening at 7:37. All right, getting you into our Saturday forecast and the weekend. We're talking temperatures almost 60 for Moses Lake and Ephrata tomorrow in the Columbia Basin. This is where we'll see the warmest temperatures, 58 for a high in Quincy, and then just slightly cooler back to the west. Ellensburg 56, Wenatchee at 57 tomorrow. Chelan, you'll see 58 and an even 60. The warm spot up in Omak tomorrow, mid-50s for both Leavenworth and for Cashmere. All right, tonight we can expect cloudy skies. There is an area of low pressure that's continuing to move through, and it's still dragging a lot of cloudiness with it as it makes its way east. High pressure behind that trying to build in, but we're not going to rule out maybe an isolated shower tonight with low temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. For Saturday, partly cloudy skies, and we are going to warm up for the weekend. weekend. High temperatures in the mid to upper 50s, and you can just see the top of that ridge beginning to slowly move to the east. For Sunday, we'll end our weekend with partly cloudy skies, warmer temperatures, Wenatchee Valley highs near about 60 degrees, and we're going to see that pretty much throughout central and eastern Washington on Sunday. As we kick off our next work week, this is where things really get nice. Partly cloudy skies and warmer on Monday, high temperatures in those low 60s, and you can see a ridge firmly up and over the Pacific Northwest, and that's going to bring us a beautiful stretch of weather. For Tuesday, mostly sunny skies, a double shot of high pressure over the western U.S. We're going to continue with that slow warm up too, with highs in the mid 60s as we get into Tuesday. And then for midweek Wednesday, the trend continues. Mostly sunny skies. The gray you see could just be some high clouds that we could experience midweek next week. Going to continue that warm up too, with high pressure right off the coast, upper 60s for highs on Wednesday. And how about this Thursday? Once again, high clouds with the ridge over us. It's not going anywhere. We are going to see some warmer temperatures on Thursday with highs, that's right, back to around 70 degrees. All right, your 7-day forecast now. 37 overnight tonight. 57 Saturday, 60 on Sunday, partly cloudy both days this weekend. And then for next week, things really get nice. In fact, we're going to see mostly sunny skies really Monday right through Thursday, 65 Tuesday, and then all the way up to 70 degrees when we get into Thursday. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Well, a happy Finally Friday. Monday's Elite Eight game between Iowa and LSU drew a record for ESPN of 12.3 million viewers. They hope that trend continues tonight with the NCAA Women's Final Four. First game of the night features NC State and South Carolina. That's on right now. That's followed by Paige Beckers and UConn against Caitlin Clark and Iowa coming up at 6 o'clock. Now, for Clark, it's her second consecutive trip to the Final Four, which she hopes becomes a national championship. But moreover, she hopes fans remember what an incredible ride this has been for she and her teammates.
People didn't really ever think we would get to the Final Four, and now to be here back-to-back times is amazing. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, people aren't going to remember how many points I scored. People aren't going to remember, you know, people may remember that we were in the Final Four twice, but people aren't going to remember, like, my buzzer beating shots versus whoever. Like, that's not going to matter to people in the end. I hope they remember, you know, how we made them feel, how we brought joy to their lives, how we gave their families something to scream about on the TV on the weekends. You know, I hope those are the biggest things that people remember. I hope, you know, all the young boys and girls remember the joy that we played with and how we took 10 seconds of our time to sign their autograph, and that inspired them to, you know, be whatever they want to be. I think that goes for, like, I think I'm speaking for our entire team, and, you know, that's what we're kind of the most proud of, the way we've carried ourselves through this entire process. And I think that's additionally allowed us to have so much success on the court, is just the team and the family that we've built over the past 4 years. And that speaks to the way Coach Bluter has built this program. Like, this, there's been a lot of really good Iowa women's basketball players to come before us and give us a foundation to, you know, maybe take another step forward and, you know, take this program to a place it hadn't been to, and, you know, since the 90s. And for me, like, that's the coolest thing, is I've had so many amazing life opportunities and created so many memories with some of my best friends. And, you know, those are the things that'll last forever. Excuse me, sorry.
You can watch all the action of the women's Final Four on ESPN. Meanwhile, Cashmere's graduate Haley Van Lith has reportedly chosen not to enter the WNBA draft this year and use her final year of eligibility to play college basketball again. However, looks like it won't be at LSU. The Athletic and Sports Illustrated both reported yesterday that Haley has entered the transfer portal. Van Lith played 3 years at Louisville, earning a finance degree. After that, she played a year for LSU. At point guard, her production fell. Van Lith still has a COVID year of eligibility to use. Now, some suspect she'll head for Iowa to replace Caitlin Clark, while others say she may go to South Carolina or head west to Stanford. We shall see. Oh, yeah, by the way, the men are playing as well. Their Final Four is in Phoenix tomorrow on TBS. NC State faces Purdue at 3:09 p.m. to be exact. That'll be followed by Alabama and UConn at 5:39. Well, the Mariners begin a road trip in Milwaukee against the Brewers after a 3-4 homestand to open the season. There wasn't much to really cheer about for Mariner fans except last Saturday night when Julio Rodriguez came through with his first ever game-winning hit in the bottom of the 10th inning against Boston.
That's your ball game! Julio wins it in the 10th inning! They'll all go home happy tonight. How about that? That was a bullet, too. He hit an absolute line drive into right center field.
There was so much discourse, so much conversation in this town about Julio last year near the end of games. Close and late situations and the struggles that Julio had, and we have seen in the last two nights, Mike, him not press too hard.
Nope, absolutely, and that's just part of growing up at this level. He has so much talent. At times you try to think you can do everything, but sometimes it's okay to go ahead. If they walk you, they walk you. But right there, he gets himself into a good count. Looked like he stayed on another cutter and hit it extremely hard.
Logan Gilbert's on the mound for Seattle against Milwaukee's Freddie Peralta. That game can be seen on Root Sports Northwest. Meanwhile, over on Root Sports Northwest Plus, the Seattle Kraken are in Anaheim to face the Ducks. It's if that sounds a little familiar, yeah, because this will be the third time the two teams have played in the last 8 days. That game kicks off, or they'll drop the puck at 7 o'clock. It's do or die time for the Wenatchee Wild. Wenatchee's down 3-1 in their best-of-7 WHL playoff series with Kelowna, with Game 5 tonight at the Town Toyota Center. Austin Andrade dropped by Wake Up Wenatchee Valley yesterday morning and told Dan Kuntz he hopes fans will help with the home ice advantage.
I think playing a solid 60-minute game, which the guys have done for the most part, save for maybe a breakdown here or there. The guys have played a good 60-minute game. They just need the bounces, and they need to get rewarded for it, but it starts with getting on the board first and getting the momentum in the game, and in this case, getting the crowd behind us.
If Wenatchee's able to win tonight, Game 6 would be back in Kelowna on Sunday. A Game 7, if necessary, would be back in Wenatchee Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. For tickets, go to WenatcheeWildHockey.com. Well, checking the Les Schwab Prep baseball scoreboard from yesterday, Meridian scored 3 touchdowns and a field goal to beat Brewster 24-15. Okanagan blew out Lake Roosevelt 20-1. Cashmere was scheduled to host Meridian earlier today in Big 9 doubleheaders. Eastmont's on the road at Larson Field, that is, to play Moses Lake, while Wenatchee is hosting Sunnyside at Recreation Park. Much busier schedule tomorrow. Freda hosts Othello in a doubleheader at 11. Other 11 a.m. twin bills feature Royal at Quincy, Okanagan at Chelan. Cascade is hosting Columbia Burbank. Tedeschi's at Brewster. Okanagan will play Goldendale at Warden at 1 o'clock. Liberty Bell travels to Jenkins-Chewela at 2. Lake Roosevelt plays at Warden at 2 in the afternoon. A couple of matchups dot the fast pitch softball schedule today with Cashmere hosting Mount Baker. Moses Lake is welcoming Mount Si for a doubleheader. Ephrata shut out Sela in Prep Boys Soccer yesterday 1-0. Elma doubled up Chelan 4-2. Coming up tonight, Wenatchee's hosting Moses Lake at 7 o'clock while Eastmont travels to West Valley. Tomorrow morning at 11, it's Elma at Cascade while Cashmere visits Manson. Bridgeport plays at Omak at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's a look at sports news. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@NCWLIFE.com or call 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great weekend.